The first time I wasn't alone in this bath, so I wasn't looking in that direction. Don't mess with my tour. I think I'm a terrible client. It does many things directly for you.
Cut this out. Don't broadcast my response.
Got an idea on how to protect this surface from scratches. Where am I? Oh, I'm in Moscow. Friends, just not in the Kremlin on Red Square, but in the real metropolis, Moscow City. Because today we came to see my apartment, which I designed myself. It's very interesting to see designers and architects' apartments because they apply the most unusual solutions here, which they will later integrate into their new projects. Oh, who has come to me? It's Serafima.
Hi guys, hi Alexei, hi friends. While Alexei was in Indonesia, I was implementing this small but complex project. We'll tell and show you more about it now. Shall we start the review?
Yeah.
Well guys, let's talk a bit about the apartment. It covers 57 square meters. It's a modern 2-bedroom layout. There's a bedroom and a kitchen combined with a living room. There's also an office area that we placed on a podium, and under the podium, a huge storage area with several access options.
There are high ceilings. Since I left the existing concrete on the ceiling, we managed to achieve 3.6 meters ceiling height in the higher part and 3 meters 10 centimeters where we have hidden air conditioning and ventilation systems. The apartment's idea was taken from one of my trips. I travel a lot. I was on the Canary island of Lanzarote. 500 years ago, there was an eruption for 10 years, and it was completely covered in lava. And there are a lot of white buildings there. I was inspired by the work of architect Cesar Manrique and made such an interpretation in a modern, minimalist style as I envisioned this Lanzarote. That's why Cacti appeared here.
Well, look, expectations and reality don't always match. You've just arrived and the object is fully ready. Furniture assembled, decor set, the bed made. Tell us your impressions, your emotions. How much did it match what you expected and what we did for you?
Listen, there was actually a wow effect. It's cool that the design was conceived by me, together with my designer. That is, I drew some sketches, gave the technical task and myself, ordered the design project from my company. So it was a kind of joint creativity of mine and the designer, and the team that made it all happen implemented it. I had a picture of how it should look, and it was executed perfectly, down to the last detail. So friends, the kitchen living dining area consists of a green sofa, a glass table, a beautiful poof, and a white wall. I wanted to be able to lie down in this way and admire the beautiful view of Moscow City. What's the idea behind the table? First, it reflects this gorgeous ceiling of mine. Now you will write to me in the comments that this concrete ceiling is unfinished renovation. No guys, this is my second apartment and a concrete ceiling is the norm. That is, it's supposed to be like that, it's a design idea. To prevent it from dusting, by the way, it is covered with a special compound. We'll write the compound here. I've received this gorgeous seashell. This seashell was inherited from my dad. My dad was a naval officer and he brought this seashell from the Pacific Ocean. You might say that the wall is empty and there's no TV, but that's not the case because we have a projector here. The projector projects a large image and you can watch movies through the home theater and of course enjoy a beautiful view. By the way, friends, a very cool idea here is these cacti. Now please tell me, my dears, are these cacti real or artificial? Write in the comments your thoughts. At the end of the episode, I'll tell you this terrible secret. Here we have a TV bench. The bench is metallic and it seems as if it's made of metal. But that's not the case because the bench is painted with a special paint. It's an MDF. The bench was made by the Matrix factory. Actually, this coating, we struggled with it for a long time. It used to be very prone to staining. Now it's less staining, but still there are issues with dirt. And this surface, it scratches. So I got an idea on how to protect this surface from scratches. You can use it. I'm now ordering clear acrylic glass to fit the dimensions of this bench. So, on all horizontal surfaces, there will be glass so the surface won't scratch. I'll put the same acrylic glass on the table, another table, and everywhere. This way, things will remain intact. What can I say about the TV bench itself? In the bench, we have sliding drawers. Very convenient, see, to open drawers with a push press with your foot. Why with the foot? Because on the feet are socks. Socks don't dirty the fronts, unlike hands. To connect all this beauty, God forbid I get a TV here or some item. I want to connect, say, a console. Right here we have outlets. See? And here's also a cable channel made specifically to connect the internet or something else right from there.
What do you like most in the apartment itself? What's your favorite spot here?
Listen, I like many things. Generally, when you make an apartment entirely for yourself, it's very hard to pick just one spot. I like the cacti. I like the green sofa. I certainly like the podium where you can sit and work. I like the storage system under this podium. I'm absolutely enchanted by the bedroom. I like this glass table, this seashell. Certainly the balls in the bathroom.
In short, you're in love with your apartment.
Yeah, for sure. I really like the floor. This wall that we have behind. Almost every detail here reflects my personality, and I'm just in love with it. And when you make the interior exactly for yourself, not buying something ready-made, it's, of course, a completely different level.
Listen and tell about your journey as a client, specifically in work, in interaction with the team. Was there something you really liked, and on the contrary, what you want to improve?
Well, first, what I liked is that I didn't need to be in Russia. I was developing the Indonesian direction, I had big trips around Asia, and I was practically not in Moscow. And it was insanely convenient that the team completely does everything for me, copes, it's super. What's convenient? Well, of course, the design. It's a joint effort of mine, the designer, the visualizer. A large number of people worked on the project. Serafima was the project manager.
In our team, we also had the construction manager, Denise, the procurement officer, Anya, naturally the designer, Inga, and me.
Right, and you also forgot the art director,
That's a person who's always in our studio. Absolutely, all projects go through.
Yeah, all projects. This apartment actually was like a test run, because when designers, architects conceive their own housing, they try out different things. For instance, a bunch of these metallic or glass surfaces, but to a client I probably wouldn't have tried this solution.
Wouldn't have
recommended. Now I understand that it's very beautiful, but easily gets dirty and scratches. Some solutions, for example, I tried in my second apartment, the concrete ceiling, for instance. I tried it, initially didn't cover it was dusty, then covered it with a special compound, and now we often use real concrete, and cover it with a special compound, and it doesn't dust. And so, we get such a cool vibe. Panels. My panels are gypsum. Actually, these are 60 by 60 centimeter panels that are placed next to each other. And then these seams, these horizontal seams, they're filled in, and it looks as if it's one continuous wall. There was a very complicated joint with the ceiling because these pipes come very close. See, as we have a real ceiling, a real concrete ceiling, the fire suppression system, it remained. We just repainted it gray. And these two side pipes, they are, turns out, heating pipes of the neighboring and my apartment, which go here, along the riser. So we left them, but we had to enclose them in this box to insulate to avoid heat loss. Convectors are built into the floor, and despite the very large panoramic glazing, it's not cold here. I was here in 28 degrees Celsius frost, and I was hot here. I even turned down the heating of the radiators. Why? Because the double glazed windows are good. So friends, if you're making, let's say, a country house and you want to have full glazing, don't be afraid. Nowadays, they make very high quality, energy efficient double glazed windows. You'll always be warm. Next to the cacti, I have another Alice. We have, turns out, in the apartment, 4 Alices. They manage the smart home, can control various groups of lights, and manage curtains. Here's a motor which connects with Alice, and you can say, Alice, close the roller blinds. Here are roller blinds, but they are used as net curtains because this is the sunny side and the sun can shine in your eyes and so on. Generally, you can install a sensor and it will be controlled by sensors. I specifically wanted to make the fabric transparent so the silhouettes of skyscrapers were visible. Because why buy an apartment in Moscow City if not to admire and close curtains? Yep, but there's one nuance. Guys, I plan to put here second roller blinds with full blackout because after all, we installed a projector here. But projectors are not powerful enough yet, especially such small portable ones, which can be moved so that in sunlight, the picture was clearly visible. So the projector here works well, only when everything's turned off in the evening. Guys, on the floor we have an oriental rug. I really like how it contrasts. It's such, an art object that attracts attention. I've always wanted a rug that either hangs on the wall or one of those Eastern rugs like from my childhood.
Alright guys, let's now talk about the kitchen area. This area we have here is also quite unique. What's familiar here is the dining table, surrounded by 4 chairs. We chose the texture of the chairs and table to complement each other. It's dark wood, the same color as our door panel. When we're doing interior design, we try to use the same material to make the space look more cohesive. So guys, our kitchen is linear. Look, these cabinets are first of all at a non-standard height. They're tied to the office barrier and extend further into the office, and they reach up to the ceiling. The very top shelves are used for storing things that Alexei uses rarely in his life. For instance, nothing. He doesn't store anything there. Well, maybe that's just for now. Pay attention to these fronts. The fronts are not made of real metal, it's paint. Matrix has really put in a lot of effort. We prepared a boatload of samples, did several installation iterations so that the end result looked just like the visualizations, but the guys put in the effort and we're very happy with the result. Speaking of appliances, we have here an Omoikuri sink, a mixer from Omoikuri. It, by the way, has this cool hose spout, extremely handy for scrubbing a pan or the like, highly recommended for household utensils, a cool item. Besides that, there's this soap dispenser and this button that activates the waste disposal unit. The disposal unit is also a great thing. We recommend everyone to use it. Because when you're cooking, peeling potatoes, you drop the peelings, press the button, and there's no smell, no trash, no clogs. In short, a cool item, highly recommended. By the way, if you have an interior in minimalist style, and like us, you're annoyed by various sponges lying around, some bright tacky, or some bottles that stand in the way, then this shelf is for you. Everything is hidden, everything can be put here, cleared away, and nothing bothers you, nothing annoys you. Also guys, notice that we have here white appliances. That is a 2-burner cooking panel because Alex C cooks quite rarely, and a white oven. Why? Because you have a white countertop and white fronts, and black appliances would look quite strange here. So we chose white and recommend you do the same. Guess away. Where do you think the fridge hidden in this kitchen? Write in the comments. Alright, I'm not going to torture you. Look, the fridge is hidden right here. It's integrated into the barrier that separates the office from the kitchen.
The fridge is small because I don't often eat at home, but a big cake fit in there.
In the podium barrier, not only the fridge is integrated, look, behind this front hides an entrance to a real Narnia. If you look, there just stores a lot of stuff. And to make such a barrier, which would integrate both the fridge and be able to open, matching the height with the upper bases of the kitchen cabinets, so that it has the same handles as our lower bases so that it has such stitching, this really was a huge hassle.
Friends, on the podium we have a workspace. You can sit, we have a chair here, open the laptop and enjoy watching people. Below, the beautiful view, and sit and work. In the podium we have a hatch. The hatch leads to our Narnia, making it convenient to retrieve things. It opens with a red key. Insert here, turn.
And hello again.
Okay, enough, now get back in. Don't mess with my tour. Geez, always sneaking. Where the workspace is, we have a sofa. First, you can sit and work here too when tired of sitting on a chair. And secondly, it's an additional sleeping place. The sofa unfolds completely. My mom came to visit for Christmas, and I actually laid her here. And this portable projector I set up for her here, and at this spot we had an excellent wall for a screen for the projector. Look, in the last kitchen cabinet here at the end we have this large storage system. First there's a smart home by Yandex's Alice. They released a new station, which acts as a speaker and controls all the smart home systems. So from here you can turn all the lights on and off. Alice, turn on the chandelier. And basically you can control all the lights. Alice, turn off the chandelier. All this works by voice and by scenarios and the rest. Also, I really like to work standing up, guys, so right here I have a special shelf. I put my tablet here, open it, and conduct Zoom conferences, for instance, standing up. Very convenient.
Listen, we already released a video about this apartment during the project implementation, and there were a lot of comments under it. I want to read a couple to you. There are interesting questions. Let's answer them.
Let's go.
Look, the first question, why did you make a podium? You could have just put a sofa there.
Of course you could. The podium is an excellent storage system. Something left from the construction. A large amount of boxes from appliances. An unreal number of the balls. All suitcases. All this is hidden in the podium. Surfboards. Skateboards. All this is stored in this place. And of course, when we have a sofa here, there's no need for another sofa here. The idea of the podium was that you sit, work, and observe what's happening in your apartment or enjoy the beautiful view. Generally, multi-level spaces are more interesting to explore. So here you kind of get your own little nook. Plus, to be honestly, I didn't sleep in the bedroom yesterday, and the day before I slept on this sofa. You know why? Because we were preparing for the shoot and steamed the linen to make it look nice. And I didn't want to wrinkle it. Didn't want
Man, truly.
to make the bed. So I went to sleep on the sofa. And guys, the sofa is very comfortable, and it's very nice to hide in this spot. You have such a little cubby and it's very cozy there. You feel protected when you sleep. Our entrance hall here is very convenient. Let me explain why. Because you see, there's this shelf and all the shoes from the living room are out of sight. And at this spot, we have such shelves where you can put keys, gloves, umbrellas, and also everything will be out of sight from the living room. And here we have Serafima.
Guys, here we had an alcove from the developer, and we decided to fit a closet into this alcove. It was made by our initial furniture contractors, who promised to make us this barrier, but never did. And what do you think? They came to install this closet, and it wasn't flush with these walls. That is, it protruded a bit from one side or the other.
See guys, now everything is flush, all good, because our builders fixed everything.
took it apart, reassembled it. Guys, in short, it was quite...
Basically, the builders fixed the issue of our furniture makers.
The furniture makers.
Also guys, this step here, see there's no shoe bench. The step's very convenient for tying shoelaces. But there's a catch. Since we have a lot of snow in winter and the floor is white, stains remain. But this problem is solved with the help of this little guy which is located under the wardrobe in the bedroom. Serafima, tell them about the closet in the bedroom.
It's not just a closet, it's like a mini utility block. If we open this part, here we have the washing machine. Here we can store clean items, washed items, things we use in everyday life, such as an iron, hairdryer, and so on. And there's where the bedding is stored.
And there, guys, see, those upper cabinets, if you stand on a chair, there's additional storage system. You can put away a suitcase or something.
Something you use rarely in your life. But that's not all. There's also this part. And here we have...
mop, ladder, and...
anything and everything.
put there everything, basically.
Yeah.
And see, guys, here we have integrated handles. Handle on one side so we can open it, and the other just opens by the door. And here's a large space for outerwear. And there, hidden is the electrical panel. And up top, we also have a large storage space. Behind these boxes, we have another electrical panel for the lights. And basically here you can store suitcases, there's a place for hats, lots of storage space.
You know, under the last video, a lot was written about the mishaps because we decided to show all the behind the scenes and talked about all the difficulties and problems in the last video. And I won't read them out, but the general sentiment of the comments was like, the client's money is being wasted on constant reworks and so on and so forth. I want to add a bit from myself here that, guys, the client never pays twice for what they shouldn't have to pay for.
The guys themselves sorted it out, I never did pay twice. Either the suppliers themselves corrected the mistakes or figured out how to do it for free.
It was. Always the one who made the mistake pays. If it's the supplier's mistake, they pay. If it's the builder's mistake, the builder's pay.
As a client, I didn't pay for any reworks.
There were quite a few questions like this. Okay, often asked also is the RL color of the floor, the RL of the walls. We'll answer, put the RL on the screen. But actually, guys, it's not quite correct because it's better to do all the color matching and selection on site because depending on whether you have a south or north facing side, depending on the lighting.
Here's what you do. You take 50 by 50 gypsum board sheets, cover them with different paint colors, come to your apartment and apply it to the wall, where the specific color will be. Look at it during the day, look at it in the evening. From my personal experience, I always do color testing, always check it, always test it on different surfaces, because once I ended up buying new paint for the entire apartment.
Found a very interesting comment here. I want to answer it myself.
Go ahead, go ahead.
It goes like this. Why, with such a big team, couldn't you take the measurements for the furniture makers yourself and order a ready-made closet from them? Lots of people, but couldn't make a closet right the first time. Guys, that is not how it works. If we take measurements for the furniture makers ourselves, then if something goes wrong later, they'll say it was our fault, that we took the measurements incorrectly. It's entirely the contractor's responsibility. They need to come, they need to take measurements. If there are any deviations, an angle not at 90 degrees or something else, they should tell us about these deviations, point them out, and our builders will fix it. You can never take measurements for any contractors, because all the responsibility will then be on you. You should never do that.
Completely agree. So, friends, our doors are concealed. They're hidden on the corridor side because the corridor is part of the living area, and they have really nice handles, which also have a metallic color. Take a look, see. There's a metallic structure on the ceiling from which a canopy hangs. This is a nod to the love for tropical interiors, where canopies protect from mosquitoes on a hot summer night. I really like the bed. The bed feels very cool to the touch. I really like the fabric, and it actually, these things, they're soft. And you know what else I like about it? That it's so low, and it feels like you're lying closer to the ground. And with panoramic windows, it looks absolutely blissful. Also, by the way, the mattress here is very comfortable. The mattress is from Blue Sleep, if I got this right. Yeah, that's the company. I can't recall the model, but it's really a cool one. I've been sleeping on it for about a month now, and I totally love it. I can definitely recommend it. Regarding the carpet here, there's an interesting tale to tell. It was larger and we had it cut down. We bought both the cutting and the carpet at Cozy Room 2. And see, here's this edge. We made a black border around it, and this painting was a birthday gift to me. I'm in a dilemma. I either want to take it to the office or leave it here. You can help me out and write in the comments what you think about this. By the way, see these colors? It's really cool that these colors, that is our new rebranding. We made a new website, chose a new color, a new logo, and all that in our colors. And by the way, guys, if you haven't seen our new website, we do interior design and architecture in Bali. You can check it out by following the link. We'd really appreciate it if you could find any mistakes on this site, something not working, any glitches, and tell us, for instance, in the comments under this video. That would be great. Let's go, I'll show you a life hack. Look, I have this alcove here where the curtain hides away. And we also put a clothes dryer here. First, it's not visible when you're lying in bed. You can enjoy the beautiful view of the skyscrapers. And even when you come in here, the dryer's not visible. And I really like these nightstands. We match these colors, which we have in the living room, on the kitchen fronts. Here, the nightstand is made in the same color. And I really like this one because it has a hole and you can put some magazine in it. There's another Alice on it, and since she manages the smart home. So the curtains here can also be controlled with voice. And you can say, for instance, Alice, good night.
Sleep tight.
See, it closes this curtain. When the curtain is fully closed, you can set a scenario where you wake up not to the sound of an alarm clock, but you wake up to natural light. And here I have a closet. Actually, the closet has lighting. And here opposite, another closet was planned, but I haven't put it up yet because the closet was supposed to be with a pink table for my girlfriend. But then we realized that we don't need two workspaces because I always work somewhere in cafes. What do I have in this closet? Here are pull-out shelves, very convenient for clothes. There's one downside to this place because here a door opens and the door opens inward and they might collide. So in the future, I want to either redo it with a folding door so the door just slides this way and nothing obstructs the opening of the other door. And of course, my delight, this globe lamp. Actually, it reminds me of some kind of moon. And what's the trick with original lamps? Because they give off very beautiful light. And it's evident by how the color is reflected off other surfaces. From the surface of the bed's headboard, from the surface of this cabinet, from the surface of the bedding. And that's precisely what sets original items, original lamps, apart from non-originals. And here's the second point. Since we had a white box means when the apartment is already in final finish and usually the electrics are laid out. And there was already wiring done for the outlets and there was no neutral wire. And to install the switch we wanted, a smart switch, it was essential to have a neutral, otherwise they wouldn't work. So here we installed such panels. Serafima, can you hand me one panel, please? Yeah, see these kinds of panels. So behind them, there's nothing behind. They work off Wi-Fi and they connect to a relay. A relay is a kind of switch that's installed directly in the light fixture. And by pressing these buttons, you can turn on and off these switches. This way you can create pass-through switches. You can stick them here on the wall. Didn't like it? Take it off, stick it somewhere else. You know how to get links to all the items in the apartment.
Also, guys, I want to add something about smart switches. There are switches that work without a neutral and don't need an additional relay. Everything was just tied to controlling the lighting with voice, and we wanted all of it to work through one app. So we did it this way. You can do it differently. Let's go. Now we'll show you the toilet and bathroom.
Whoa, what beauty, guys.
Our amazing bathroom with a fantastic wall. Alexi, how do you like it?
And with a fantastic toilet.
Oh, shut up. That is, don't mess.
Actually, friends, this is a very smart toilet which I got for a performance, a Grohe toilet. I really like it. It does many things directly for you. All right, Serafima, tell us please, what are these balls we have here?
It's amazing. Hey, stop it. Enough. He's too active. Anyway, guys, this is our wall with an installation. Behind it are balls. Guess away how we got these balls in there. Write in the comments your ideas.
Actually, friends, we had a separate video when it was visible, when the renovation wasn't done in this apartment yet. And Serafima talked about the problems we faced during construction. And actually, especially in this room, in this bathroom, there were a lot of problems. For instance, here we have micro cement. Looks very beautiful, but it was actually terrible. Now let me tell you about the life hacks used here. First, see, we have such a beautiful shelf. What do we have here? Here we hid the toilet paper, brush, and the toilet's remote control. And also there's a smart speaker here.
By the way, guys, this wall was very complicated to implement because we had to coordinate several contractors. One of them did this glass, another one applied a film on it so it had the matte finish we needed to see the balls behind it. The carpenters made this shelving and I stuffed the balls behind this glass. How exactly? We'll insert a clip and you can watch.
Friends, and pay attention, if you look at this shelving, see, behind this shelving we hid a curtain. There's a special alcove there to tuck the curtain away so it's not visible. It sticks out a bit, but we'll hide it. So yeah, it'll look like this. And by the way, here guys, an excellent life hack. When you are making all kinds of shelves, make them on the wall where your door is. Because then when you enter, you don't see these jars. And plus, see, here's a high wall and all the jars easily hide. And when you look like this, they're not visible. There's Neptune hidden. It's the thing that works against leaks. See, there's this small sensor. If water hits it, then it will shut off the water. It also connects to the smart home. Here we have hidden storage. You can put all sorts of jars and everything else into. And here's a super convenient storage system. Know why? Because you see, right here, everything's neat. But if you look inside, you'll see all that mess you don't want to see. That is, I shove everything into this alcove and it turns out really cool. Cool? Hit that like button!
The bathroom spoiled the whole impression. What's with the balls behind the glass? It's no longer volcanic islands, but a Milka chocolate.
A chocolate bar, you say? There were basically two ideas. The first idea was to create tropical leaves that would be behind this glass.
But that seemed a bit out of trend.
But I felt that idea was a bit overused, so alas, we ditched that idea. There were different options. Wanted to plant cacti there, but in the end, liked the idea with the balls. Plus, it's really cool that these balls, they change colors and you can create different vibes in the bathroom. During the day, for instance, I have a blue light there and the sound of the ocean plays. I tell the smart speaker to play ocean sounds, and it sounds like the ocean there with a blue light. In the evening, when I go to bed, I ask for fire sounds and set the light to a dim red, and it looks like glowing embers. That is, a special vibe is created using music and light.
Listen, remember when during the renovation phase, the entrance to the bathroom was slightly different, so we moved it 6 centimeters to the side, so that when you lie down, if the doors open, you'd have a view directly of Moscow City.
Look, I didn't spend much time there lying. I lay there once. No, I did that 2 times. The first time I wasn't alone in this bath, so I wasn't looking in that direction. And the second time in the bath, I was alone and was looking at Moscow City. I had the door open. The only thing is, you need to move the curtain a bit, because the curtain slightly obstructs, but basically you can still see the city.
Okay, at least our efforts weren't in vain.
Yeah.
Yeah, after everything was ready and installed.
By the way, another thing I would still add some light in the bathroom, because it lacks lighting. I think we'll just put an additional lamp there and it'll be better.
Thank you for showing the behind the scenes of implementation. How it actually happens, not in the client's dreams. Surprisingly, a lot of negativity in the comments, but that's just part of being a designer. Only those who do nothing make no mistakes. Minimalism, not a fan, it's too cold for me, although looking at clean architectural volumes is pleasing. Amused by the volcanic rock story, I'd tried to dissuade a client from even microcement. You can create such an effect with other materials. Really liked the kitchen and the relief wall made of plaster, the cacti, and overall color palette. The ceiling was also interesting. Everyone's trying to contemplate the option of exposed concrete, but I'm afraid to incorporate such into projects yet. Your videos are the coolest for designers, keep it up. Thank you to your team for being open and honest.
Ah, how nice. Actually, guys, when we encounter any mishaps in projects, we document them all and create such a problem list. Then, we pass this problem list to our designers. It's our experience database, which we've been building up over the years, and some things I test in my projects. That is, if something didn't work out the first time, we fixed it, and next time, in working with clients, we can use it confidently. That's how experience comes, no other way. Through trial and error alone, and studying information. Friends, you're probably going to write in the comments now that this is a white, sterile interior like a hospital or something like that. Actually, friends, each of us designs an interior for ourselves, and everyone has their own tastes. Some like it, some don't. I designed my apartment the way I like. That's it. I like living in such an architectural, white and bright interior. For me, first, it visually enlarges the space, and it doesn't distract from the view outside the window. It's my preference. Plus, when sunlight reflects off a white wall, the interior transforms and doesn't just stay white, it looks entirely different. Every light changes it. So friends, don't write angry comments about whether a white interior is bad or good. Everyone has their own tastes.
Alexi, I want to say that it was super interesting for us as a team, as your employees, your subordinates, to also go through this quest of interaction.
Yeah, I have a question for you. How was it working with me as a client?
Cut this out. Don't broadcast my response. No, actually, it was cool. We also leveled up. We also realized where there are areas in our work that we can tweak and improve.
I think I'm a terrible client.
No, I don't think so.
You don't think?
No, although there were comments under the last video like, Serafima, how do you cope?
Because I switched off being the head of the company. I was like, okay, now I'm just your client. If I was dissatisfied with something, I would start to criticize harshly.
That was funny.
Well, Serafima likes it when she's criticized.
No, it's not that I like,
They say love is closest to hate.
No.
With electric shock.
Guys, there was no abuse. Everything was very constructive. And I'm all for constructive criticism, because if it's constructive, it's always a point of growth. It always highlights those areas you can improve, and you do improve them. And next time on the next project, you don't receive that criticism. And especially, I wouldn't say you were biased or nitpicking. You spoke directly, clearly on point, but there were times when I felt quite embarrassed. No offense, nothing personal, but I wanted you to have a good impression of interacting with us. And when it didn't quite happen, I was really worried and upset.
Now people will start writing in the comments that you're bad designers because you have some flaws. Friends, you know how we look at it? We're not showing you a pretty facade. We're showing you the inside, everything from within. And our channel is exactly for that. So you understand how renovations really happen, what challenges we face, how we solve these challenges. So here's the inside for you. Watch and then think for yourselves. Decide for yourselves.
Yes, and write your comments. We'll read and respond in the next videos. For instance, about the smart home.
Well then, guys, bye for now.